Motivation's a lot like our personal hygiene. You got to do it every single day to maintain a standard. You want to have a baseline when it comes to your mindset so that you're starting each day with a reset, meaning you're really refocusing on those things that are important, those goals that are in front of you, a positive mental attitude, understanding that obstacles serve as growth opportunities, and the things that we overcome are more important than the wins that come as a result, because that's going to build and cultivate your mental toughness. That's why we're here every morning. That's why I'm always encouraging you to share these messages with other people, because I want you to be in the best possible mental conditioning, mental shape, so that you can succeed, so that you can get your wins and stack them up. And I'm way more excited about what you've had to overcome than the actual victory itself, because the victories and the wins are going to be a byproduct. So it is Faith Focus and Follow Through Friday. I want you to practice from a spirit of faith, the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not seen. I want you to have focus, following one course until successful. Do not deviate. Do not look left or right. When you have a clear, concise mental picture and you know exactly what you want and what you're getting after, there is a non-negotiable spirit that must come with that. I want you to be convicted about what it is that you're going after, and I want you to stay focused until you get what you came for, and then the follow through. Following through, it's easy to be excited in the beginning. It's easy to be fired up when it's a brand new month. It's easy to be excited because it's the first day of May. It's the first day of the month. Let's go. Brand new month. We all fired up. But can you be as excited and fired up when nothing seems to be going your way? When life is kicking your ass and you cannot figure it out. And it seems like no matter what you do, there's no progress being made. Can you be enthusiastic and excited then in those moments when nobody's cheering you on, when you are alone, you are by yourself? Leadership is a lonely road. You have to be willing to embrace the vision, embrace the spirit of that non-negotiable. I am going to get this done. I am going to figure it out. And so that is the spirit of Faith Focus and Follow Through Friday. And I want to talk about why and how dreams can come true. I used to work in the Atlanta Youth Enrichment Program, and it was in the Techwood Homes, the oldest housing projects in the country at that time. It was in Atlanta. And so we had a program where we would mentor these youth, and a lot of them unfortunately did not have fathers in the home, and so we spent a lot of time. As a matter of fact, it was structured so that we would live in the housing projects, and so they had access to us pretty much 24/7. And it was an incredible program. We taught them just culture and leadership principles. We took them on field trips. We had organized learning sessions, and it was just an incredible program. So that was throughout the entire summer. And when the program was over, it was at the end of the summer, it was time to call it a day, because the funding only was granted for about 3 months. And I will never forget this young man. His name was Marquez, and he literally, and he was just a small kid, he literally grabbed my leg. It was the last day of the program, and he would not let it go because he didn't want us to go. And I was powerless. I had never been confronted with that before. I didn't know what to do. I'm a kid myself. I'm literally just graduating college. And so I just froze. But I remember more than anything else the feeling that I had, this burn in my gut of, I want to figure out how to help people get out of this situation. He didn't ask to be born into the oldest housing projects in the country. He didn't ask to be born into a circumstance of impoverishment. So I just wanted to figure out a way to bring value to communities that were underserved. I wanted to figure out a way to bring value to people who were mentally enslaved, who were mentally believing that they didn't deserve a great life. They didn't deserve to have great results in their life. And so for many, many years, that haunted me. To this day, I have a vivid memory of that day. I can tell you exactly what it looks like. I can tell you what he was wearing. He was holding onto my leg. I can tell you that I was just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And so fast forward, I was introduced to an incredible business model of people like if you help other people get what they want, then you can get what you want. It's a quote, it's a Zig Ziglar quote. If you help enough people get what they want, you will eventually get what you want. Well, the business model that I initially started my sales career in was built on that. Like if you help other people win, you're going to win. And I fell in love with that concept. Like I just thought it was brilliant. And so I immediately just dove into this arena of helping people create wins. And in doing so, the more I helped them create success, then my success was just a byproduct. It was inevitable. And again, it was beautiful because I didn't have to focus on myself. I had to be an example. Like I am a good salesperson. Like I know how to bring value. I know how to serve my clientele. I know how to leave them better than how I found them. And no one is going to love them more than I do. Like that is my superpower, is my capacity to love. So I realized that I had something that I could combine my speaking acumen and my training acumen with my newfound superpower of sales and leadership, and just put it all together in a big pot and stir up some success gumbo. And so I want to talk to you about a couple of families that I had an opportunity to work with. And I always believe the thing about being a speaker is that you go into a situation and you're normally there for maybe an hour or two and then you're gone. And that always bothered me. So whenever I do negotiate speaking contracts, I always negotiate for more time. You don't have to pay me more money, but I want more time, because there's only so much you can do. Yeah, you can motivate somebody. We talk about the daily morning motivational message, right? We're here. We get a little hit, like quick dopamine. Hopefully I leave you with a couple of concepts that will stick with you. And then you got to come back the next day, take a shower again, get your motivation again, right? So doing an hour or two presentation, there's only so much I can do. And I've always wanted, prior to getting involved with that business, was I wanted to build relationship. I wanted to help people grow and develop over time. You and I, we all went to school, right? It takes time. It takes repetition. It's growth. It doesn't happen in one setting. It doesn't happen in one lecture. It happens over and over and over again. So with the business that I was building, I had a couple of families that I started with. This was over. Now, listen, let me tell you, like I had to go through a lot of people to find these two particular families that really wanted transformation. I had to recruit a lot of people in order to find just these two families that wanted to really win at a higher level. They wanted change in their life. But here's the beauty of how dreams can come true. My dream has always and was always and is always to help people transform their lives, bring out the greatness within them, as Mr. Les Brown always says. And so, because I had built a culture of continual touch points, because I did weekly trainings, I still do to this day, weekly trainings for our group that we were building, because we were building relationship over time. I was constantly in their ear about their greatness. I was constantly dripping on them. I was constantly challenging their thought processes and challenging them to think beyond their current circumstance and reminding them that their visions are important. Constantly pouring into them, constantly building them up, constantly holding them accountable to a higher standard. And at the same time, reminding them that I have to hold myself to the same standard, that I have to be the example, that I have to do the things that I'm asking you to do. So it was a beautiful dynamic and combination. And guess what happened? Over time, they started to live up. First of all, they gave themselves permission to really have to own their dream. They had dreams, but they really began to take ownership of their dreams. And they put the work ethic and combined that. And I was simply a part of that process. They did the work. They took ownership of their own transformation. But I had the opportunity to foster it, to be a guardrail, to make sure that they don't forget how super dope they are. They were and they are. And so to watch and to build something with families where their annual income was somewhere between 40 and 60,000, maybe $70,000 a year, okay, combined income, to watching them go from that over a 4-year period to $1 million a year. Think about that. Think about that. They were making combined, two-income households, somewhere between 40 to 60 to 70,000 a year, and working with them and pouring into them and being in the trenches with them over and over and over and over again and watching them evolve and become seven-figure annual income earners. That's a dream, ladies and gentlemen. That's a dream. That was my dream. I've always wanted to take someone that was performing at this level and then help them to get to perform at this level, 20 million times their capacity. Dreams can come true, because I never lost sight of it. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but because Marquez would not let go of my leg, it put a burn and a fire in me that burns to this day. To this day, my entire focus, what I am most obsessed about is helping people transform their lives. To this day, that is what drives me. To this day, breaking people out of the cycle of financial abuse, getting people a pathway out of being overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. Do you know how people have normalized being underpaid and undervalued? They wear it almost as a badge of honor. They go and work jobs that will never pay them what they're worth. That drives me insane. And because people have normalized and habituated it, when you start talking to them about transforming their lives, it literally makes them nervous. They get scared because it is so antithetical to any and everything that they've ever experienced in their life. That's why the average income in this country is $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. You imagine talking to somebody about making $60,000 a month? Hey, what you make in a year, you can make in a month. What? That's not real. Well, it certainly is for millions of other people. What's wrong with you? What's so unique about you that you can't do the work and become the person to do that? And I love having those conversations. I love interrupting patterns. I love forcing people to stretch beyond their self-imposed limitations. It's work, but leadership is a privilege. Leadership is a gift. It's a blessing. It's one of the hardest things that I'll ever do. It's one of the loneliest roads you're ever going to have to walk, but it is so freaking worth it. So, salute to some of the families that I've had the opportunity to work with directly. There are many of them. There are many stories I could tell, but I wanted to give you these two families in particular because I just have so much love and respect for them. And to this day, they continue to thrive. So that's the power of a dream. That's the power of a burn in your belly. That's the power of that fire that burns eternal if you engage it and if you put the right fuel on it. And my fuel is serving. My fuel is leadership. My fuel is bringing out the greatness within you, because that was the legacy that was instilled in me by Mr. Les Brown. And I will continue to do that work. So happy Faith Focus and Follow Through Friday. Hope you got some value out of this. If you did, hit like and subscribe and go ahead and pass this message on, because it is a blessing to be a blessing.